Wayne Stanley, Fred Arundel, and my father. So it was three partners. And then Wayne died, and then my father got his shares. So it evolved.
It's been chronicled, I think my grandfather's for working for Watson in the 20s as a delivery driver, or actually on a bicycle with a basket, delivering gloves to False Creek. He worked his way up to salesman and sales manager, and my grandfather had acquired shares all along the way. So upon John Watson's death in the 30s, my grandfather had 45% of the company and bought the remaining 6% to be the majority shareholder of Watson Gloves.
My earliest memories are 8, 9, 10, this type of thing. They would be really busy at work, so my dad would bring big cases of gloves home, and we would sit and watch TV, and he'd pay us for tagging the gloves. So we all had our stapler and a stack of tags and then a case of gloves, and you just go through and staple them together and then put them back in the box, and he'd take them back the next day.
Oh, it was preordained that I would be heir apparent or something like that. Well, my father sent it to me. It was sort of a Dear John letter in reverse. You've been bumming around Europe for a year, so get home and we got a job for you.
In the letter, Dinty's strongly suggesting that he make his way back home, that it's time, he's done his traveling and the business is busy and they could really use him, and come on home, son, get back here.
I started as a summer job shipping, and I saw the potential in the company, and my dad always wanted me to come in. I felt like, why not continue on with the legacy?
I started in 1994, and I had 2 little kids. I think they were just 2 and 3, Sean and Kaylin. So I worked as the North Shore sales rep, and I only worked 2 days a week. Then as the company grew, I started looking after more and more of the marketing. And so I now work 4 days a week, and I look after the media in the marketing department, and I still do look after the retail sales on the North Shore.
Both my father and my grandfather have always thought that getting the name out, advertising comically or seriously, was very important to the marketing of our product. It is a commodity item, so he felt that why don't we jazz it up and give it funny names, give it a real character, as my grandfather did with the domestic product, and differentiate ourselves from all the other glove importers and manufacturers in Canada. And it seemed to have worked.
Often when my dad started naming all the gloves, he would bring home styles and try to get us to think of names and have little contests. I know my grandma named a glove that did really well for the company called Rosie Posey. So yeah, it was definitely a family affair, and you always tried to come up with new names when he'd bring home the glove. It was quite fun.
Oh, I have a favorite tag. I think the Stagline tag is one of the greatest ones we've ever done.
I love Game of Thorns. I think that's hilarious. Oh, I think it's super important. That sets us apart for sure. And people love the names, right? Especially when they're funny. It's a really unique part of our company, and I love it. I wouldn't want that to change ever.
A lot of stress and anxiety in the 80, 81. Interest rates were 18%. The economy was in terrible shape, and I know then we had big inventory. We had a lot of delinquent, bankrupt accounts, and it was very difficult.
They wanted to shut us down, the Bank of Nova Scotia, yeah. They said, listen, and Stock said, just make $1. Make a lousy $1 for God's sakes. But we didn't make $1.
And Dinty did have to come back and work for the company. I don't remember or know how long that lasted, but he did come back to work. And I think that was a pretty challenging time for Barrie and Dinty's relationship. The transition was pretty smooth. I think my dad tried to back away and let Marty take over.
I said, don't put it in the ditch, kid. And he took the advice. So the growth has become phenomenal.
My dad, he lives and breathes Watson gloves. and that makes him, unique in his own way. His apartment is decorated with all the Watson Glove posters. He wakes up in the morning and checks the weather right away because he wants to know if it's cold in Alberta or something, because that's what he is, and that's what he's always done since probably he was 20 or 21, was work for Watson Gloves. It's clear that we had outgrown East 2nd and Main. It was a pretty rough building.
So we stepped off the diving board in the deep end, and I remember when this facility here was being built, we were going, oh my God, what are we going to do here?
Well, I think that Denny Moore would say, wow, we've come a long way, baby. Shake my head sometimes because I'm mystified by the fact that we're still around after 100 years.
Innovation, without a doubt, will be the key to our success. Keeping the fun and the outstanding staff retained. I want to thank all our staff and all our customers for phenomenal career Watsons, and I know a phenomenal 100 years moving forward. So thanks everybody. I appreciate it.